We fight because we cannot stand a population of over 2 million depending on one ferry vessel, the only vessel that is meant to carry the sick, the students, policemen and women, petty traders and businesses to one side of the bank to the other. We are very honored for this prestigious award being presented to us by Honorable Secretary Blinken.
The latest scandal at the National Water and Electricity Company, NAWEC, highlights an ongoing cancer that seems to be eating the fabric of a nation often branded as the smiling coast of the Gambia. While the investigations are reportedly on, the nation wait with keen interest about the ultimate outcome. Just around the time a coalition of opposition parties in the Gambia led by Adama Barrow was rising to galvanize the electorate to change the political leadership, an organization was in the making. The Gambia Participates was founded at the brink of the 2016 presidential election, which was called arguably the most critical election the nation had ever had. The Gambia Participates' primary purpose at that time was to encourage the citizens to vote in the election in the face of intimidation, fear, and uncertainty. A high voter participation rate saw the end of the country's 22-year-old dictatorship.
Each year we invite one champion to give remarks on behalf of all of the honorees. At this time, it is my pleasure to invite Honoree Marr Nyang from the Gambia to give remarks.
At a recent program where the organization was feted with the Anti-Corruption Champions Award, the executive director of the Gambia Participates summed up the situation in the Gambia in this key statement.
Without doubt, one of the most difficult fights is the fight against corruption. And the ones who are in this fight face numerous reprisals from government security apparatus and business moguls who engage in illicit transactions with public officials. Anti-corruption activists are the first aid of anti-corruption in every society. And it's through our work that we deter and control the spread of this cancer before it eats up our governments and society. This is why we fight, not for self, but for the downtrodden, the middle class, the rich, and the unborn. We fight because we cannot stand going to public hospitals and seeing patients lying on mattresses on the floor, while a group of people devour the monies that are meant to purchase a simple hospital bed. We fight because we cannot stand electricity going off in the middle of surgery, putting the lives of patients on the line. We stand up against corruption because it is difficult to see public officials riding in multi-million SUVs, while citizens in rural communities use donkey cart as their ambulance. We fight graft because we want a working system and a well-developed country where our citizens live in absolute dignity. The only thing standing between us and this goal is corruption and leadership, nothing else. We fight because we cannot stand a population of over 2 million depending on one ferry vessel, the only vessel that is meant to carry the sick, the students, policemen and women, petty traders and businesses to one side of the bank to the other.
But the fight is an unrelenting one, not for the Gambia Participates alone or for the politicians. It is up to all of us.
Because of its ineffective administration, it has cost life, properties, and forced indigents to bankruptcy and poverty. We fight because we wanted to make sure what is for everyone is not for one. In our midst today, Secretary Blinken have already given these profiles, and I will, based on our interactions that I have with these honorees, I would like to mention who we are with here today. A police chief who used the power and authority vested on him to counter and sanction corruption in Colombia. We have a judge who adjudicated corruption without thinking of quid pro quo in Lebanon. A university lecturer and a journalist who both use a unique tool, a keyboard, to raise awareness on the dangers of corruption in their respective countries. An Attorney General of Panama who refused to get soaked in the corruption of mafias in his country, but took actions to sanction them, especially those mentioned in the Panama Papers. Also amongst us is the Minister of Justice of Armenia, who contributed in constructing a civil forfeiture law in confiscating ill-gotten assets. A lawyer, and myself as an advocate, who advocate for legislative reforms, institutional and individual accountability for a more progressive, efficient, and a corruption-resilient public service, both in my country and then also leader from Kazakhstan. And finally, a chief prosecutor of corruption and organized crime in Albania. How wonderful will it be to have these anti-corruption force aiders in a society? However, this is without various challenges.
According to Transparency International 2020 Corruption Perception Index, the Gambia scored 37 out of 100, indicating a significant improvement from 2016 when it scored 26 out of 100.